Slack. Um, there's a lot of remote teams out there. And with that, you want to build a strong communication culture for a winning culture with an SDR team when you are remote. Um, I see too many messages and SDR leaders saying, how do we build communication better? And it's just constantly being in chats with your SDRs, making sure that people are communicating, gamifying what you're doing in a day in, day out basis, celebrating your wins and losses, and also sharing best practices. Especially as a remote team, you're not sitting next to somebody all the time. So you have to get very creative when it comes to meeting with people, role plays, shadow sessions where they are sharing their screen and you're also taking notes at the same time, and just lending hands to one another. So for me, it's Slack. I think Slack is very underrated in that form. And you could also say Microsoft Teams, same principles. But as far as tech stack tools, Power Dialer for us. It's super powerful. I also think that any AI texting type tools that are out there right now, Zapier is one. Another is Sonar. They're super powerful with just going back into your database for people that have already agreed to taking marketing information. So they've already said yes to taking information from sales development, going back and messaging them with dynamic fields and making sure that you're saying, hey, we spoke to you in the past on this date. We had this type of conversation, and then you can personalize that at scale. So that'll be super helpful. I'm also really bullish on AI, like everybody. It's hard not to be at this point. I think last year was, for at least ChatGPT, it wasn't even year one. It was more of year zero, where people were testing it out, trying to see what works, what doesn't work. But now we have some serious information and data behind what it does for us as far as emails, but not just with email writing. I also think it's going to be leveraged on cold calls and also demonstrations. You're already seeing this with SalesLoft. Gong has released a new product called Engage, which has been very, very helpful for SDRs, and that's what we're using. We are using Gong and their suite, and it's been super helpful for us to gain insights that have already been in the database and then have AI leverage that for us to have talking points. We're a little bit of a younger company and we're still building out our tech stack and getting more sophisticated with the tools that we're using. But I think the first thing that you have to do before you even get to that point is do lead scoring and making sure that you understand who is more of a buyer than not. And that's where dynamic triggers and other pieces of that nature are coming into play for reaching out to your market. I think Clary is a really good tool for this. That's a little bit more for enterprise focus, but even mid-market, allowing you to understand where people are in their buying journey. But you can even use that from an SDR perspective too, to understand what are those buying signals that they're going after and what they're looking for. Are they coming to our site multiple times? Or is this the first time that they're coming to the website? Or is this the first time that they're interacting with us, or have they downloaded anything in the past? That's really extremely important for SDRs to leverage that type of information instead of a spray and pray model. Those are the SDRs that win month over month, quarter over quarter, when they know the lowest hanging fruit, where it's sitting within their market. So I think that is an extremely important piece. There are tools that invest in that. Like I said, Clary. I think they're constantly growing, adding new feature sets that are only going to be more powerful, especially with artificial intelligence being rolled out for it. But that's where we're focusing on big time in 2024, is just the dynamic fields and making sure that if a prospect comes to our website, what are we doing from an email standpoint? What are we doing from a phone call standpoint? How are we going to be interacting with them?